Next is the another important question in Indian economy, problems and policies in first SEM MA economics. That is a question in the year 2019. One of the important short question is that what is the possible role India can play in a global deal on climate change? India's role in global deal on climate change. In order to explain this question, first, what is meant by climate change? What are the important causes of climate change? Then, what about the important effects or consequences of climate change? And last is that role or initiatives or measures taken by government of India and at the international level. These are the main important components are included in in this question. That is the role of India in the global deal on climate change. Firstly, what is the meaning of climatic change? What is meant by climatic change? Climate change shows that this is the rapid change in the environment on Earth. That's it is defined as this is a rapid or sudden changes in the environment on Earth. That is the rapid change or sudden changes in the environment on Earth. Because of the rapid changes in the environment, it create here there is changes in our climate. Because of climatic change, it can change our season. There are mainly the three important seasons, like one is that summer season, then here there is a rainy season and also winter season. So because of climatic change, this may change our season also. Nowadays the important change our climate is that hot climate, or here there is a high temperature in summer season and less rainy season and less winter season. This is one of the important changes in season due to the climatic change. So what is meant by climatic change is that this is the rapid or sudden changes in the environment on Earth. It changes our season also. Nowadays, our increasing or high temperature or higher temperature in the summer season and less winter and less rainy season due to the climatic change. So, this is the important meaning of climatic change. Then, here there is a definition on climatic change, show that there is climate change is a periodic modification of Earth climate brought about due to the changes in atmosphere as well as interaction between atmosphere and various other geographical, geological and biological factors with the Earth system. That's an important definition of climatic change. Climatic change, it is defined as a periodic modification. Here there is some modification or it is periodical level. Periodical modification of Earth climate. This is brought about because of two important reasons. One is that due to the changes in atmosphere. Any atmospheric change, it creates changes our climate. As well as, or not only the atmospheric change, at the same time, interaction between atmosphere and other factors like geological or geographical or chemical, at the same biological and geographical, these factors also influence our climate. One side, here there is one side it shows that here there is an atmospheric change. Any atmospheric change, it creates the change in the climate. Not only this, here there is a factors like geological, geographical, biological factors also influence our atmosphere. So that's interaction between atmosphere and these factors create change in the climate. That is an important definition here. That is a periodic modification of Earth climate brought about due to the changes in atmosphere as well as that is the interaction between atmosphere and various other geographical, chemical, biological and geological factors with the earth system. That is known as climate change. Very short, climate change refers to the sudden changes in the environment on earth. It change our season also. So there are three important seasons, like here summer, winter and here there is a rainy season. Nowadays high temperature with that is less, that is winter and rainy season, one of the important feature of our that is season. This season change due to the climatic change. Then in order to explain what is the climatic change, that is climate change, it influence or change our weather patterns, that is it predictable and that is not possible or less predictable. That's weather pattern less predictable is one of the important features of climate change. Weather pattern we cannot predict, that is unpredictable of weather pattern. This is one of the important feature here. And second is that it creates the weather events like flood, cyclone, etc. That's another important changes because of the climate, or one of the important feature of climate change show that it creates the weather events like sometimes here there is a possibility of weather, or here weather conditions like flood, then here there is a drought or cyclones. So this is the another important feature of climate change. And third is that rising temperature, it melt, that it creating or attack our polar regions. So it melt our ice. Here there is a possibility of increasing flood situation and soil erosion because of the rising temperature in the polar regions, melting our ice. It create increase the floods at the same time. Here there is a possibility of soil erosion. And last is that it adversely affect our agricultural situation or agricultural production. These are the important features of climate change, or these are the important features here. One is that here there is a weather patterns, it is unpredictable, adversely affect our agriculture. Then here there is an attack on polar regions. Here there is a possibility of here that is melting of that is ice and create flood here. And next is that is second is that here it creates the events like flood, cyclone, etc. These are the important points include what is meant by climate. So what's the meaning here, then what about the definition, and see these are the some of the important points or about the features of climatic change. And next is that, so first we analyze what is meant by climate change, and second is that what are the important causes for or the factors for climate change. What are the causes or factors for climate change? That is, causes or factors of climate change mainly classified into two. One is that natural factors, and second is that is anthropogenic factors. Anthropogenic means man-made factors. One is that natural factors, and second is that anthropogenic or man-made factors. These are the important causes of climate change. So based on that is natural factors, this is mainly first is that continental drift, and second is that variation of earth orbit, and third is that volcanism, and fourth is ocean current, that is ocean current, and last is that plate tectonics. These are the important natural factors for important natural factors or causes of climate change. So causes of climate change mainly classified into two. One is that natural, another is that anthropogenic or man-made factors. Among the natural, here there is there is continental drift here, ocean, there is ocean current, volcanism, then here there is a variation of earth orbit, and last is the plate tectonics. These are the important factors here. The first is that continental drift. Here there is a continental change or continental gap. Continental drift, that is according to this, it shows that is here there is a present day continent. It were not the same prior to 200 million years. That's in the olden days we have only one continent and one ocean. But because of after so many years, this continents converted into 7 continents, etc. It shows that because of after 200 million years, here there is a changes occurred in that continent. It created so many formation of continents in India. So in the earlier we have only one continent. Now it changed. It shows that after years or millions of years, because of changes occurred in the climate, at the same time because of change our continent also. So continent is the fact that one of the important factors for creating climatic change. After many years, here there is a change, the physical features, at the same time water bodies of the continent, then it may completely change here. So this is the one of the important reason for the occurrence of climate change, that is continental drift. That's in the earlier we have only one continent. Now it changed. That's 200 million years continent change. It increased the number also. So after a continuous changes, it increase the number of continents. So because of this, it change our water bodies. At the same time, here there's a physical features of continent all may change because of the continental drift. This is the one of the important reasons. The best example is that in India, our Himalayan regions, it rising, that is 1 million meter in every year. Every year it increase, it going up 1 million meter, our Himalayan range. So this is the best example for that is the continental drift. That's the one of some. If there's a increasing or higher or increasing the position of Himalayan region, it change our climate also. Here there is a increasing our temperature, and here there is a possibility of there is seasons like hot and winter and rain. It completely change. The best example is that Himalayan regions in India, in every year it increasing up 1 millimeter. So it change our climate. That is the first important causes of that is a natural factor that is equal to continental drift. And second is that variation of Earth orbit. Change in the Earth orbit, that it create impact on sunlight, seasonal distribution on Earth surface. Because of the change in the Earth orbit, it create impact on sunlight. Here there is a changes in the sunlight, the seasonal distribution on Earth surface. That Earth surface also may be changed here. Because of the changes in the Earth orbit, it impact on sunlight, then seasonal distribution on Earth surface also may be it change here. The second important causes of the natural factor. And third is that volcanism. That's because of the volcanic eruption, it created emission of dust particles and gases. It block our sun rays. It creating cooling temperature. So in that case, because of the volcanism, means volcanic eruption, it emit our gases and dust particles. It block our sun rays. It creating cooling temperature or cooling weather. That's the another important reason for the climate change. And fourth is that ocean current. Ocean current shows that horizontal winds, it causes the movement of, that is, water against the sea level. Because of the wind, it created the movement of water against the sea surface. It created climatic change. That is here the wind causes for the movement of water to the sea. It created climatic change. And last is that plate tectonics. Plate tectonics show that the plate means part of the earth. Earth plates to adjust leading of the rearrangement of earth plates. That's plate tectonics show that earth plate, that's a part of the earth, it is adjusted or it adjusts leading the rearrangement of earth plates here. These are the important natural factors. One is that here there is a that is continental drift, and second is that here there is a variation in the earth orbit, and third is that volcanism, and fourth is that ocean current, and last is that plate tectonics. These are the important reason of natural factor to create climate change. So what is meant by here there is a continental drift. Next we analyze what about the earth orbit, and third volcanism, then what about the ocean current, and last is that plate tectonics. Next we move to what about the important that is anthropogenic factors or man-made factors. The factors for climatic change. They are mainly, the first is that greenhouse gases, and second is that land use pattern, and third is that atmospheric erosions, and last is that ocean acidification. That is in the case of greenhouse gases. Greenhouse gases emitted, one is that here there is a water vapor, and second is carbon dioxide, and third is that methane, and last is that nitrogenous. If there is a emission of water vapor does not create any adverse effect here, but in the case of emission of carbon dioxide, because of increase in the number of industries or industrial revolution, it increase that is the emission of carbon dioxide. So it create adversely affect our atmosphere. And third is that methane. Methane mainly emitted because of the disaster or decaying of organic matters. Organic matter decaying, it emitted methane. That is the another important reason for the that is greenhouse gases. And last is that nitrogenous. Nitrogenous because of the fertilizer applied in agriculture produce, it created emission of that is nitrogen. So it adversely affect our greenhouse gases. These are the important reason here. Then second is that land use pattern. Land use patterns are that conversion of forest or because of deforestation, it increasing the emission of carbon dioxide. That is, it cut our trees. This may adversely affect our nature or atmosphere. So deforestation creating, here there is emission of carbon dioxide. That is the second important reason or man-made reason for the climatic change. And third is that atmospheric erosions. Atmospheric erosions mainly first, here there is solar radiation, atmosphere adversely affect. And second, chemical properties, emission of chemical properties, it also adversely affect our atmosphere. And third is that vehicle emission, that is here there is a air vehicle emission also polluted our air. These are the three important reasons for the atmospheric erosions. And last is that ocean acidification. Oceans are completely converted to acidified. Because of acidification of oceans, this may completely or adversely affect our nature or atmosphere. Thus, oceans are covered with acidity or acidification. This may adversely affect our nature or atmosphere. These are the four important man-made or anthropogenic causes for the climatic change. One is that greenhouse gases, and second is that land use pattern, and third is that there is atmosphere erosions, and last is that ocean acidification.